like to welcome everyone, the fans, the media. This event is being presented by three of the biggest promoters in boxing, and we have some legends up here. And it's a great day for boxing fans in Corpus Christi, Texas. I'll start with perhaps just welcoming our promoters, Mr. Dan Goossen, who's the lead promoter on the event with Goose & Tutor Promotions. Okay. And also, it's a very special day to have Don King in town. I don't think Don, have you ever been to Corpus Christi?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Beautiful.
My ship out there in the bay.
Oh.
The USS Lexington left there.
Oh, okay. Oh, beautiful.
We had the United States Championship on that ship, and we had and I landed at sea.
Oh, terrific.
They called Admiral Jim Holloway, Chief of Naval Operations.
Yeah.
I've been to Texas. When you go to Texas, you're all over it.
That's right.
Texans, baby.
Okay, it is, for me, there's been a couple great things happen for me in my life in boxing, and one was to have the pleasure to work with Don on the live gate for the Chavez-Whitaker fight. That was the biggest fight of the last 35, 40 years in the United States at the Alamo Dome, 65,000 people, and so that's one of the great things that happened to me, and I owed it to Don. Also, the champion that I managed, the one champion, was because of Don King. He gave him the opportunity. Jesse James Leha won a world championship, and so, yep, they love him here. He fought here several times as well. So probably the best things that happened to me in boxing was due to Don King, and he's a legend, as you all know, and I'm one story. There's thousands of them in boxing where he gave them opportunities and created champions, and just that, we're so lucky to have you today, Don.
Thank you.
Very lucky. Okay, we also have representing Golden Boy Promotions, one of the finest matchmakers in the world today, and outstanding boxing man, and one of the backbone of Golden Boy Promotions, Oscar de la Hoya's company. Glad to have with us today Eric Gomez. Anyway, also our friends from Corona, I'd like to thank them, and a big thank you to our friends here at the American Bank Center. They do a terrific job. That's why we're here, because it's such a great facility, such great people running it, and it makes you want to keep coming back. I'd like to introduce the director of this great facility, Mr. Jim Salamenta.
Thanks, Lester. Appreciate it. Appreciate the kind words. On behalf of SMG and American Bank Center, I want to thank everyone for coming out today. First off, I want to recognize those responsible for bringing one of the best, if not the best, boxing cards to our venue with the Showtime Triple Threat Fight Night. There's a couple people I'd like to thank. First off, Lester Bedford, our partner, Don King,
Thank you, sir.
Goose & Tutor Promotions, Golden Boy, Corona, and Andrews Distributing for sponsoring the event, and of course all the fighters for bringing your talents here to Corpus. Last but not least, many might not realize this, but I want to thank our local tenant, the Ice Race hockey team. We had to move their game on Saturday to tonight, and it was their biggest game of the year. It's their Pink in the Rink night for breast cancer, so I do want to thank them for being so accommodating, and because of that, we're able to have this fight. So thank you to Pat Dunn and the Ice Race for being so great. We're excited to open our house to Showtime and give the people of Corpus Christi the ultimate boxing experience on a national level. It's great for our city. It's fantastic for Corpus, and I do appreciate that. Remember, and I know I say this at every boxing press conference, but I can't stress it enough. We need to continue to support championship boxing events like this one in Corpus. Without the support, these events don't happen. So I encourage you all to tell your family, tell your friends, get them all out here so we can have a great night of boxing tomorrow night and just have a fantastic showing for the city of Corpus Christi. Thank you very much.
Okay, now I'm going to turn the program over to Mr. Dan Goosen, the founder of Goose and Tutor Promotions and I guess CEO or whatever the biggest job is. That's what Dan is. It's bigger than the executive director or whatever. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I tell everybody when they ask me about different promoters and different people, and they say, "What about this guy? What about that guy? What do you know about him?" And the first thing that pops in my mind is that I can't get out of my mind that Dan calls me sometimes from California like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm thinking, wait a second, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. This guy's literally the hardest working man in boxing, and he literally willed his way into being one of the great promoters in this sport, and he's well respected by everyone in the sport, all the TV networks. He himself has created many, many world champions in this business, develop them from start, including the Fighter of the Year this past year, Andre Ward. And just a real pleasure to be a friend and have an opportunity to work with him. Mr. Dan Goosen.
Why do I seem so old now, Don, with that introduction, okay? The only way you build champions and all that is if you have the great champions. I've always said it about baseball coaches, football. You can make the best decisions out there. If those athletes aren't carrying it out, you never ever have a winner. So any success I have, and I'm sure Don would substantiate this, is based upon your athletes going out there and winning. And from Andre Ward to Paul Williams, Chris Arreola, that's what it's all about. Jim, as far as it relates to the ice hockey, Lester told me all about it. I've got some good news. The game's tomorrow night now, Friday? Oh, tonight. And Arreola's agreed to put a pair of skates on and be the enforcer for a night. Huh? Well, first off, you know, I've been to Corpus Christi. I brought one of the Arreola brothers out here many years ago. And Texas has always been a great fight town. I mean, I don't care where you go in Texas, you attract the attention of the fans. And, you know, me getting older, having kids, running around still, I try to stay as close to California as I can. But, you know, Lester's been talking, we've been talking the last 6 months, 7 months to bring a fight out here to Texas. And by God, here we are on coming up this Saturday with a great event on Saturday. You know, you hear promoters all the time saying it's a great event, but I got to tell you, from top to bottom, it's going to be all action. I mean, Paul Williams is nothing but action. And for those of you that don't know Ishida, and I'll bring up Eric Gomez in a little while to tell you a lot more about him. He took the underdog role, came in and beat James Kirkland last year, and was probably the upset of the year. Not probably, in my mind it was, because no one gave him that shot. But none of this can be done not only without the fighters, but without the networks, without the arenas, without the sponsors. I want to thank Showtime. Steven Espinoza, who's the new general manager and vice president of Showtime. I believe he's going to be here this week, their whole crew. They're going to portray Corpus Christi out there as the way that the citizens of Corpus Christi would want to be portrayed, as a beautiful city as it is. I know I've been around town, and restaurants are great, the people are great and gracious, so Showtime's going to capture that spirit and along with the action inside the ring. Corona, I want to thank them. They've had a long partnership with us moving forward the last few years, and they're a tremendous sponsor of our sport. Lester Bedford, you just saw him here. He's done a tremendous job through the years, keeping boxing going here, flourishing in the state of Texas. I do want to say give a nice round of applause to Lester Bedford. Where are you, Lester? Give me back that $50 you owe me, too. And then the fighters. But Saturday, we're going to have the special treat with the triple threat. Showtime in a new format has opened up another network of theirs called Showtime Extreme. It's not on their main channel, but virtually captures 95% of the audience from of what the main Showtime channel has. And what they're going to do, they're going to show parts of the other main fights, including Malik Scott from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He's a 32-0 undefeated heavyweight, 31 years old, who's out there to see if he can make a dent in the heavyweight picture right now. I know America's looking for that next great American to go out there and dethrone these European heavyweight champions, and I believe at the dais we've got one right here with Arreola, but there's two of those Klitschko boys, so we need at least two good Americans. Malik's going to be fighting a young man from Fort Worth, Texas. You probably have seen him before. One thing you can depend upon with Kendrick Relaford is that he's going to go out there and fight. So that'll be opening up the Showtime Extreme fight, and then we'll get to the one of the semi-mains of the triple threat. And for that, we've got a young man that is close by. What is it, about an hour and a half drive, Eric? 2 hours. Well, if you drive like Arreola, it's probably an hour and a half, okay? But he's from Raymondville, Texas, undefeated. And I know that Don's going to have a few words to say about Eric. So, Don, what I'm going to do is, before we get to Tavoris and Campillo, we're going to bring you up here and let you introduce your fighter, Eric Molina, on his challenge against Chris Arreola. And before you sit down, I'm willing to bet this jacket, which is a Versace. It's not really, it's from Target, but it sounded good, okay, for yours, okay? So, Don King.
It's always a pleasure to be back in the Lone Star State, the great state of Texas. And the glory that's going to come to Corpus Christi on Saturday night is going to be super sensational. It will be resounding around the world. But it would all come from echoing a voice that was of yesteryear that established us being here today. I am determined to sustain myself as long as possible and die like a soldier who never forgets what is due to his honor and that of his country, victory or death. That was Colonel Travis, who was saying that at the Alamo, and he did that in 1836 on February the 24th. So it's like a crowning achievement to come home in the month of February, 1 week before Colonel William B. Travis set the words that set Texas into glory. 9 days of glory. Bowie, Crockett, Travis, all of them there fighting in the Alamo against insurmountable odds and difficulties. And they said victory or death. Now, what I'm saying is you got another man here, this name Eric Molina. He's 100 miles from here, but he is a Texan. He's a Mexican-American Texan. And he's coming to dethrone Arreola. Chris has been good. He's a nice guy, and every setback is only a boost for those who have faith and want to continue to struggle. So I want Chris to stay steadfast, tenacious, and persevere. But on Saturday night, we will knock out Chris Arreola, because that's what Santa Anna thought when he had all how many troops, thousands of troops that he had against those men there, 189 men, that was there fighting in the Alamo in Texas. But Sam Houston was just waiting to get him at San Jacinto and bring the great general down. So in the spirit of Texas, this young man named Eric Molina will rise to the occasion and recapture the glory of yesteryear. The spirit of Texas is still alive. And when he does, I will smile at my dear friend Dan Goosen, because he's young and coming on, and we're old and going on. But the idea is the spirit of the insurmountable odds, the underdog. Everybody told me they calculated the fight to go 2 rounds, and they told me Eric had 2 chances, Slim and none. And he said Slim was out of town. So now we're going to find out when this happens, because I'm only here because Dan is here, and I'm coming here to be able to teach him that, everything that glitters is not gold. And so we're going to be able to demonstrate that with 2 guys, because it's a thunderclouds and they are accumulating all over the atmosphere. I was so spiritually moved when I seen my ship out across the bay, the USS Lexington. That's where I began with the Lexington, working with Admiral Jim Holloway, working with the ABC Sports in the tournament, taking bikes to the ships so the people could see them around the world, and establishing the glory of America, which we have lost to Europe now temporarily. And we're going to reclaim that glory from Europe with the best fighters in the world. The best light heavyweight in the world is sitting right here at my right hand. That's Tavoris Cloud. I know that's the main event co-feature that we will get to with Dan and I. But he wanted me to tell you about Eric, But he's smiling, inside. He's just having a wonderful time because he knows all the odds, speculatively. Everybody that would be thinking that they're supposed to know boxing, they're going to say that, Eric shouldn't be in the ring. But they forgot the one thing, that intestinal fortitude, the heart. The heart is a mighty, magnificent thing, and it just pumps the blood throughout your whole body. You can cut off an arm, you can survive. Cut off a leg, you can survive. But you can't take out the heart and survive. Eric has the heart. He has the desire. He has the will to win. And so what is going to happen? He has that Texas glory that's going to come to Corpus Christi, that will be resounding, reverberating around the world. It's going to be the biggest upset in boxing at this particular time. And along with that big upset, you're going to see the prime fighter that's going to bring back the excitement to America like no other fighter has done in a many, many years. And that's Tavoris Cloud. That man is thunder and lightning, so I'm very happy to be here in Corpus Christi. I love the people of Corpus Christi. And I think Texas is just one of the great, great, great states because it was born in glory. And then that glory will be translated and permeate this whole community. And you all should be proud, and everybody should be here because it's exciting, it's provocative, it's beautiful. It is something kind of different, and we're going to make it happen right here in Corpus Christi. So the eyes and ears of the world will be focused on you. So let us bear witness to the greatness of this great state of Texas. I know Austin now is smiling, and Sam Houston is turning over up in heaven. He's rolling. He said, we're back. We got the war guard with the war things that's happening here. We're all excited. Showtimes. Thank you, Stephen Espinoza. We even brought in a Mexican-American to get him a chance to get out and be at the front of the forefront. You know what I mean? No more of the wetbacks and running up and down picking the fruits and things. Now we're the executives. We're rolling. You know what I mean? This is what it's about, what makes this country so great. You know what I mean? Yesterday's nobody is tomorrow's somebody. So I'm very thrilled. I'm very delighted, and I'm humbly honored to be in Corpus Christi, Texas. Hear my cry. V-I-C-T-O-R-Y. Victory is ours. Thank you.
Hold on, Don. Hold on. Don't sit down yet. Okay? Don't sit down yet. You just took all the words out of my mouth. Okay? I was going to say the same exact thing. Don, why don't you introduce Eric's trainer?
Now, I'm glad you gave me an opportunity to say this because the man who's training Eric Molina is the former heavyweight champion of the world, a guy I took to Europe in the UK to fight Lennox Lewis. All right, Lennox Lewis was the same as Chris Arreola. He was a big demon, a champion. And he wanted to, they didn't give us no chance. Even Slim and None was gone. Wasn't neither one of them around. You know what I mean? At least they gave you 2 chances here, Slim and None. You know what I mean? But over there, you had no chances. It was, in the words of Elizabeth, she said, we did not know that you was to keep the possible instead of trying to hold on to something that we know was impossible to keep. That's when England was trying to keep the 13 colonies. You know what I mean? So you have to understand, you know what I mean, King George and sent over all of his guys over his soldiers and everybody to beat the 13 colonies. So we went over to London, and Oliver McCall knocked Lennox Lewis cold, knocked him out, and brought the championship back to America. And it was just a wonderful, delightful thing. And so what could be more spiritual? I just get moved when I think about it. That he should be training Eric Molina, another underdog, another person that they seemingly don't understand or comprehend. The will to win, faith moves mountains. And so I want to bring up Oliver McCall because he's transmitting that spirit to Eric. You know what I mean? That never say die spirit. And you go out and you do the impossible. And this is what you're about to bear witness to, a reincarnation of Oliver McCall as Eric Molina going against Chris Arreola. You know what I mean? Number one, steadfast challenger for the crown will be the throne. And the only man that can tell you how that can happen is through the faith in God, and a man that I'm about to bring up here to have him to tell you in his words. When everything was looking dim, nobody was there to say, yes, you can, when everyone else is saying, no, you can't. Only Oliver and I. But we had somebody from on high that was there. If you speak Spanish, Espanol, vaya con Dios, you go with God. You know what I mean? So that's what we're doing. We coming to Corpus Christi, and we coming with God. Come on, Oliver, come on up here and tell them the spirit here. Let them know what's going to happen on Saturday night when Eric upsets Chris Arreola. Oh, I'm so excited about this.
First of all, I want to say hello to everyone out there. It's good to be back on the scene a little bit, whatnot. My best experience I had out here so far, I must say, is from Rich. I stayed at Richie's house. That's Molina's brother. He took me to his church, and the sermon was great. So that was my best experience there, drinking coffee and just the sermon and the things that was said about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So I just want to say that. I just fought here in Houston, August. I fought in August. I'm finna be 47 years old. I won a WBF Intercontinental title. And I was pretty excited, you know. And that was in August, so then something came up this last fight, I didn't fight. My fighter here, Molina, he's a great person. I'm glad I met him. I met him only one time before this. It was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I was training. We have the same manager and trainer at that time, Richard Fizzler. And when I was there, he said, Oliver, won't you help out a fighter of mine? You know, he's coming up in the ranks and things. So I said, okay. So once I started boxing with Molina and everything, it was a couple of things I seen. I wanted to help him out, you know. He like, champ, what can you give me? What can you offer me? So I told him a couple of things and whatnot, and we had some good sparring sessions. I came down to Houston and I won my fight against the same guy. What's your name? Oh, dang. Arreola. Dang, all right. Arreola fought the same guy. What's his name? Dominique Willis? Damian Wills, right. That's who I just fought and everything. And boy, it's something to be here because I've been wanting to fight Arreola for a while myself, but I hang up the gloves now. I think I'd be better as a trainer really teaching people on how to fight and be as accomplished, more accomplished than I was accomplished, you know. So Eric, he loved what some of the things that I was saying, and he couldn't relate, and we kind of clicked for this fight, and I come on down, and matter of fact, I didn't ask to be his trainer. Once I got down here, he had another guy training him, and after 2 days, the guy said, you know what, Oliver? You need to take over this training. So that's the good thing about it, you know. I'm blessed to come in not asking, oh, please let me train you. Oh, Lord, I do this. You know, another trainer said, Oliver, I just can't compete with the things you're telling him, and I'd rather for you to just take over. So I thank Gogi for that. He was very humbled. After the second day, he just came and said, Oliver, we really need you. And I'm glad that my friend here, Eric Molina, his whole camp, they really took me in. We ate a lot of Mexican food. You know, and I like spicy food, so we ate a lot of Mexican food and we went to work. It was some things that we definitely had to concentrate on with Eric. And him winning would be like me winning, you know. Even though I won't get the opportunity to fight this young man, although the last young man was 1 year younger than you, I bust him up somewhat like you did. Anyway, Eric will get the job done. I'm looking forward to Eric getting the job done, and when he win his title and keep his title and get that #1 position, it'll be like me becoming the #1 contender myself, and then we could deal with the Klitschko's. So I just thank you all for coming out. Thank God for giving me the sanity that I do have. I have a little sanity. Ain't that something? That's a good thing, though. That's the blessings of God, and I just thank God for his grace and mercy. And y'all enjoy the fight. I'm going to enjoy the fight, and I think we're going to be victorious. Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver. And when Dan was looking for an opponent for Chris Arreola, you know, he said, give it to me, you know what I mean? And so I asked Dan, would he take him? You know, naturally Dan runs around and get to his team, you know, and they go through all of these things. They, oh boy, this is going to be good. This is great. You know what I mean? And so we got the match. Now it comes the time for the showdown. And the showdown will be on Showtime. And it's going to be a fabulous evening of boxing, and the man is going to make it happen because we understand and we recognize that we're the underdog. But always remember that yesterday's nobody is tomorrow's somebody. And so you got to understand, if you don't get the opportunity, you don't get the chance. That's why I love America. It's the land of opportunity. To give an opportunity in the land of opportunity is all you can ask. And so we got that opportunity now, and Eric feels without a question of a doubt that he will overcome. And he will be able to deal with this in a manner that each and every one of you that's a Texan will be proud, you know, that he will be in the thick of the battle. His brother Richard and I had a good chat, and we was going to try to move him out of Texas to train and bring him back as a surprise greetings to Chris and Dan. However, he chose to stay in his homeland, and he said he would be right here, so it just brought echoes to me of Sam Houston and all of those who were fighting for the glory of freedom and liberty and making this the great Republic of Texas. And so it was a thing here that you should meet and greet this guy, because it's inner feeling, it's innate feeling, it's intestinal fortitude is incomparable. You know, he's truly demonstrating that he is a Texan. So let me bring up this dynamic guy who was the man of the hour. Al Bernani was on my case all the time to bring him in, to make the match, to do this, to do that. And so now I had to acquiesce to Al, because I could look and listen to Eric, and Eric was saying everything that was right. He's in for a fight, whatever way that it comes out, and he said it's going to be my way. So I thought about old Frank doing it my way. Bring up here. Come on up, Eric Molina. Come on up here. You tell him what you're going to do, because you certainly sold me. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody.
That's all right. Let him smile. Let him go on there. You know, we can kick his ass on Saturday. It's all right.
First of all, I want to thank God.
Make you eat that up, you know. Okay.
I want to thank God for the opportunity
Talk to him, Eric.
for blessing me, for the opportunity for being out here. First of all, I want to thank God. Thank everybody for being out here. It's Corpus Christi, man. It's a beautiful town to be out here. I feel so much close to home. Everybody's made me feel at home here. And, you know, I just want to make it short and brief. You know, Don King, his introduction, you know, he's a king of introductions. You know, it was one of the, this is going to be my 20th fight. You know, it was the best camp that we could have put together possible. I feel more confident for this fight than any other fight. I love being the underdog. You know, I just want to leave you guys with one story, and I'll make it short and brief.
Talk to me.
About 6 years ago, in the first round of my first fight, I got knocked out. Left on the ground. You know, Chris, I want you to think about this tonight before you go to sleep. I got knocked out in the first round on a Golden Boy show, okay? Las Vegas. And I came back, sat down in the hotel, and I dreamed of this fight today. That's coming Saturday. And I sucked it up. I fought back, 18 wins in a row. Think of all the things that had to go right to come back from that. Think of everything that a fighter has to do from 0-1, losing in the first round, to come back to where I'm at now. It ain't luck. It ain't. You call it what you want. I ain't even got a word for it. But think about what got me here, and that's what's coming to you Saturday.
Whoa! Whoa! That's a word called faith, because I'm bringing this man here to bring something that's much more important than just the fight in itself, but that will that you just heard this man demonstrate. That's what we want to put with our kids, to empathize, sympathize, and commiserate, to understand that when everybody is there and everything looks bad and bleak, you say, yes, I can. Rise up from the ashes of the phoenix and roll again. That's what we're talking about. This is the time for Eric. It's Eric's time. And we're going to make it happen. Where? At Corpus Christi. Where's that? It's in Texas. It's the greatest state in the union. So we're going to be able to deal with that. And so with that, we'll say we'll wait till we get to the next time when I bring the inclement weather up here, and the thunder and the lightning and the hurricanes, you know, and you can't deal with that. You know what I mean? That weather going to be disastrous. You know, you're going to need 3 or 4 coronas just to be able to stand up and face what the wind is doing to you. You know what I mean? We're going to do that, so I know Corona understands that. You know what I mean? So that's why they got something that's soothing. You know what I mean? You don't have to get inebriated. Just feel good all over. So we're going to have a case of Corona for Chris. And we're going to teach him a lesson of etiquette, you know, to be nice to people. It don't hurt nothing to be nice. That's what Angelo Dunley said.
Don, this is only the first part of the press conference, okay? We still got a few more fights. No, I'm only joking. Look, if anyone dare thinks that I'm running the show trying to follow up on Don after every conversation he has with you guys, you're nuts. But I'm going to always have my say also. That's the great thing about this. And Don and I go back many years, along with who I affectionately call the Hammer, Dana Jameson. Dana, stand up and say hello to everyone. You've been there with Don for many years. Come on, you guys can give her a bigger applause. Okay. A woman in boxing. But, you know, when I hear Eric, when I hear Oliver, when I hear Don talk about all the accolades and all of the dreams that Eric has, that's what we're here for. This isn't a fight that we had to take, but it was a fight that Chris wanted. He wants to go out there and make a statement. And one thing I never have to worry about Chris Arreola, he's a fighter. He's a real fighter. If anyone's ever seen him fight, and I'm sure most of you have, he was born a fighter, amateur career, goes out there and he knows how to fight. He's exciting. It's one of the reasons why the networks like to put him on. He likes to go for the knockout by just breaking you down. And come Saturday night, I know it's going to be a good fight, but Chris is going to do his job and he's going to break Eric down and get his hand raised. I want to bring up, I don't have a former heavyweight champ, Don, but I know that Chris's trainer has won some type of championship throughout the years. I don't know which one it might have been. Ping pong, Henry? No, I'm only joking. He's a good friend, tremendous trainer. He's been with Chris the whole time. Henry Ramirez.
I want to thank everybody for being here at Corpus Christi. Obviously, we're excited about being here on this great event Saturday night. You know, a lot goes into putting a card of this magnitude together. So, you know, shout out to all the promoters, sponsors, network, everybody involved. I also want to thank my personal team. You know, there's a lot that goes into a training camp than just a fighter and trainer. There's management, there's financial people you got to deal with. So I want to say hi to Sylvia and thank you. I know I could be a pain in the ass every day when I call. But getting to the fight. Eric Molina, good fighter, up and coming. I think he presents a different challenge than the fighters that we faced in 2011, whereas some of the guys were more of a journeyman, more on the backside of their career. And I think Eric presents comes with the real desire to win. A guy who sees Chris as, you know, getting to that next level. But we had a hell of a training camp, great sparring, great preparation. Come Saturday night, Chris is going to fight his fight. Eric's going to fight his fight. No doubt, Chris is going to come out with the victory. But one thing, Eric, your story about, you know, coming back from your first loss and, you know, getting to this point in your career, I commend you on that. You know, like you said, this is your dream fight. But on Saturday night, it's going to be a nightmare, my man.